Okay, so let's try out this new Blessings battlefield. So the dice in the first slot of the deck will have an increased chance to be summoned and 10% increased damage, and the dice in the last slot will have a decreased chance to be summoned. So I've maxed the field out, so we're looking at a 15% chance on the increase, or a 15% increased chance to summon the first dice in the first slot of the deck, and a 15% decreased chance to summon the last dice. And I've played a few games with this, running mainly Yin Yang, like the usual co-op Yin Yang that you would run, that I found to be a bit weaker in PvP because it's harder in general to get your early synergy online without things like Switch or Sacrifice or really another DPS die, like something to give you enough sustain to get a row and a column in line. But so far with this, it's a little nutty. So let's play a couple of games. Now, I have lost a few games running this, but in general, I've only lost when I wound up with like 1 to 2 7-star growth dice I couldn't get rid of. And I just got really unlucky with the growth RNG. Those are the only ones I've lost. That and, the occasional person running Royal die, but I mean, that's just your counter anyway. It doesn't even always lose you the match if they don't get a high enough Royal out to reroll enough to knock you off of your synergy. So I'm actually surprised we got this one supplement on the field that quickly, but it's fine. I've been playing against some other people. I ran into some other Yin Yangs running the exact same board, but running like Plasma Shield. And they had a whole board of supplement dice, because for some reason, in my experience, this deck loves summoning just supplement dice and jokers, and just laughing at you when you're just desperately trying to get any Yin Yang online. And you see how, like, I'm not sure, but I think the 15% increase chance is also, it's not just your initial summon. I think it's also affecting growth and crack growth's chance to turn into Yin Yangs, because they almost always do. I've rarely seen them turn into anything else. Growth almost always grows and becomes Yin Yang. Crack growth almost always grows and becomes a Yin Yang. I'm sure they're gonna make a liar of me. I had one of them, I think it was a cracked growth, that turned into a 7-star supplement, which was just awful luck. And our Guardian opponent, I'm just now really looking at his deck. See, he's running Atom Guardian. I question that decision, but hey, to each their own. I mean, at least he's got the Blizzard, so, I mean, Atom Blizzard has a lot of sustain, and if he gets a few proper Guardian dice up and running, it could be pretty dangerous, as long as he can deal with things like Slime. But I feel like the Knights are just gonna sort of eat his lunch for him. But yeah, I mean, you see, like, it's almost hard to break Harmony on this board. Now, I've got the board maxed out. I had enough gold left over from the previous event that I just immediately maxed out the board. But it's incredibly effective. And I don't usually play Yin Yang in PvP. For one, I found it really boring, and two, I didn't like it as much. I'd rather run Solar Scope or Solar Moon or some variant along those lines. Maybe like Solar Scope Death. I ran that for a big win streak for a while. But with the consistency that this offers, and frankly the pure ease at which you get your harmonies online super quick without having to run Switch dice, without having to run Sacrifice or Bounty or anything, it makes Yin Yang a lot more attractive to me. And ooh, that kind of scared me for a second, but we're gonna win. We're gonna win anyway. Our opponent wasn't really putting up much of a fight there. Let's run a couple more, see if we can't get a more interesting match. Got some rewards. Let's run one more. I feel like this board also has incredible applications for co-op as well. I mean, that's the other thing that I was about to get. Ooh, we got a Hypersyn player here. That's a little scary, maybe. See, now here's where you start running into problems. Is when you run into assassin players, I'm not running Plasma Shield like you normally would run. Either Pantheon or Plasma Shield with Yin Yang, the classic things. You want more damage or you want to be protected from Hyper Assassin players like this. So that's sort of the drawback here, yeah. Oh, he's running. Yeah, I just realized he also had the not Plasma, Prism. I didn't even realize he was running Prism. So, yeah, we're in a bit of a tough spot here just because he knocked us down so quickly. But we're also kind of rolling a bunch of growth dice, which is really lucky against a Hyper Assassin player. And he's rolled himself into nothing but jokers. So I think if we can survive this mini-boss, which we will, we're probably going to stabilize with just a little bit of luck here. I'm kind of worried about that small mob that's coming up. I don't have a row or a column or anything. That thing's didn't quite hit us. Now the mini boss is probably, we still might be dead here. I don't think we've got enough SP to survive, and we're not getting very lucky with our the positions that we're summoning things in. And again, if we make it to this boss, we might be able to pull it out. We're gonna make it to the first boss. Inadvertently helping us a little bit there, but we're gonna be hurting for SP, but so is he. We are going to be able to kill this boss, which is incredibly important. Our opponent not being able to kill the boss is huge for us, because now we just need to slightly out-survive the assassin player. We just need him to take damage first. And yeah, he's almost definitely going to take damage first. So not the best example of this this board on either of these fights. We had a guy who had a weird deck that frankly didn't put up a big fight against Yin Yang, and now we've got an assassin player that's had a really good start but got a little unlucky, and we got a little bit lucky, and it looks like he's not going to have quite enough DPS to bring us down. Oh, we might not have enough DPS to kill this. Hold on. Okay, we got the win. I think it's a tie. I'm not sure in those situations. I think we both win, quote unquote. I'm not sure. But either way, we keep our streak. What I was getting at though is with this this board for co-op, because it also gives you that damage buff, that 10% damage increase. Which, there's an argument that Pantheon is still better for co-op in most situations because of that crit rate boost, but I'm not sure exactly how the math works out, because I think, a base 10% damage increase for all of the dice on the board, especially for Yin Yang, but like also for combo, yeah, for combo, solar, whatever you're running in co-op or even in PvP, but especially in co-op, that 10% base damage buff for every DPS dice on the board might equal out to be more than this 50% crit buff. I'm not sure. I haven't done the math yet, and I'm kind of too lazy to do it, but in PvP for Yin Yang, I'm loving it. Like the 10% damage buff helps you sustain your early game. You're almost always just summoning either growth dice, jokers, or Yin Yang, the things you want to summon as a Yin Yang player. Most of your growth dice roll themselves into Yin Yangs or into jokers, which again is great. And you only get the occasional supplement here and there, which helps feed you, more pips. Okay, so our opponent's on the exact same idea, but he's running Switch. So, like, he's running the list I would normally run if I was going to do PvP Yin Yang, because Switch fixes your early game. He's also using the same board as us, so this could be interesting. I think this is the first time I've run into another Yin Yang player actually running it. I don't think everyone immediately had 1,000 gems just to sit on, and then also the, 200,000 something gold it takes to max it out. It's a lot. Because I think I had 700k gold, and I'm in the mid 300s, I forget. Yeah, boom, just like that, easy. Like, this would usually be incredibly lucky, but this is super consistent with this board. I'm surprised it took me this long to get a kind of decent match. He is struggling a little bit more than me, but he's also rolled up more growths, so he's kind of going to be better off in the long run. I'm hoping that growth rolls into like a 7-star switch or something stupid, but I don't think I'm going to be that lucky. He's probably going to get a 7-star Yin Yang on deck super early. Oh, it became a switch! Let's go! Heck yeah, man. Okay, so now, basically, as long as I don't break my board and roll a crappy 7-star I don't need, or 7-pip, then I should win this by attrition? Unless he's got an insanely higher crit rate than me. Which I kind of wish was, or a much higher Yin Yang level. I can't really tell by the numbers right now. I really wish that you could see your opponent's crit rate in PvP. I just think it would be interesting. I wish you could just see your partner's crit rate, or your opponent's crit rate in general, outside of, just in the global chat when you're looking for a co-op partner. Then you can see their crit rate, but like, it doesn't show you when you match with someone. And I wish it did. I just think it would be interesting information to know, especially if you're in a mirror match like this. Like, if we have very similar or even identical boards, do I need to risk breaking my board in the late game to get more pips than my opponent, or is my crit rate going to carry me? And it's hard to make an informed decision about that when you don't know your opponent's crit rate. Like, they could have several hundred more crit than me for all I know, and be in the same class because they grind co-op a lot. Or we could have the same crit, and it's gonna come down to RNG as to who wins. And I guess that's part of the game. It is random dice. It's not sure thing dice. So that's the game we play. So yeah, we're just gonna try and build up our board as best we can, but unfortunately for our opponent, with him running Switch, he's gonna struggle to beat us in this situation. Not just because of the 7-star, but it's like the downfall of Switch versus Supplement is he can't merge his Switch dice into his Yin Yang, so he's gonna struggle to really ever get rid of that last Switch dice a lot of the time. It's gonna be a lot of luck as to whether he's gonna be able to get a full board. And then, if he needs more pips, he's got a bunch of one pips he doesn't want. It's a risk starting to put them together because you can't merge them in. Whereas when you run Supplement, it kind of speaks for itself. You can merge them back into your Yin Yangs, and if you roll into a growth or whatever, it's fine because it's only ever going to become a Joker, which will copy the Yin Yang, another growth, which will just give me more pips, or a Supplement, which again will just make one of my other dice stronger. So the only bad thing that can happen to me is rolling either growth variant or a Supplement into a 7-star. But I mean, that's all kind of beginner knowledge, but it's just what I think about when I play this game. Just realized I've been doing this entire time with no game audio. Oh well. We're just playing with the board right now. Like, I could probably leave it at this and win. But that's also really boring. Yeah, we'll make it bigger. Why not? Maybe I'll roll into a 7-star and we'll have an actual match here. Anyway, this is just going to be boring yin-yang board grinding, so I will be back when something interesting happens.